The UFL releasing the official results of the first two phases of the dispersal draft, and let's take a look at the quarterbacks. We've got some interesting situations, and we have some new faces in new places. We'll start with the 2023 XFL champion Arlington Renegades, where Spring League superstar Luis Perez is back. Now, the dispersal draft's overall number one pick was quarterback Lindsey Scott. He might be the most traveled quarterback in the league. His college career started at LSU, then he was on to East Mississippi Community College, then went to Missouri briefly, on to Nichols, and then wrapped up his career at Incarnate Word. Scott was selected second overall by the Pittsburgh Maulers in the 2023 USFL draft, but opted for Houston in the XFL. He's joined in the quarterback room by East Carolina product Holton Ahlers, who spent some time with the Seattle Seahawks this past season. He was released in October and signed with Arlington in December. The 2023 USFL champion Birmingham Stallions will have Jamar Smith back and hopefully healthy. Smith was tabbed as the starter in 2023 and was injured in the opener. He was out for the season. Alex Magoo led the Stallions to back-to-back titles. This should be Smith's team to lead in 2024. Adrian Martinez signed with the Stallions on Christmas Eve. The Kansas State product was part of a quarterback tandem that led the Wildcats to the Big 12 championship in 2022. Martinez spent some time with the Detroit Lions after signing in May. He got waived in August. The XFL runners-up DC Defenders with only one quarterback on the roster right now, and it is not 2023 starter Jordan Tiemu. He's not on any UFL roster so far. The Defenders do have DeAndre Francois, who last played for the Orlando Guardians. Francois played sparingly for Orlando, appearing in just 4 games with no starts. He threw a couple of touchdowns and an interception. The Houston Roughnecks, who are the rebranded Houston Gamblers, will have Kenji Bahar back at quarterback for a third season. Bahar had a 5-3 record with the Gamblers in his first 2 years. An interesting addition to the Roughnecks is quarterback Jarrett Guarantano, the former Tennessee Volunteer who signed with the USFL's Gamblers in December, all of whom are now Roughnecks. Could be a quarterback battle in the making in Houston. The Memphis Showboats under new head coach John DeFilippo have 4 quarterbacks on the roster right now, including former Philadelphia Stars standout Case Cookus. Cookus was a backup to Byron Scott in 2022, and when Scott was injured, Cookus took over and led the Stars to the 2022 USFL championship game. He's thrown for more than 3,600 yards in 2 seasons with Philadelphia, and he looks to keep it going with the Showboats. Cookus might be battling it out with last year's Memphis starter Cole Kelly. Kelly passed for more than 1,500 yards and 7 touchdowns in the Showboats' 5-5 season. Kelly took over as starter in Week 3 over Brady White. Ryan Willis, he is back with the Showboats. He played in just 1 game in 2023. And one-time Showboat Guy Myers, also back. He was signed in December. Myers was released from the Showboats in January of 2023. Michigan Panthers quarterback Brian Lewerke back in Motown and is the only returning Panthers quarterback on the roster right now. Lewerke got very little work with Michigan. Inexperience at signal caller is a theme right now for Mike Nolan's Panthers, as the other quarterbacks on the roster are former New Orleans Breaker Davis Cheek, who never played a game, and Danny Etlin, who is making his spring football debut. The new-look San Antonio Brahmas under head coach Wade Phillips does have experience at quarterback, with Jack Cohn back in the fold. Cohn threw for more than 1,500 yards for the Brahmas in 2023. Cohn was injured, and he was replaced by Kurt Benkert, who suffered a season-ending rib injury, and then Cohn went back into action last year. Benkert is set to come back to the Brahmas this season. They're joined by Elon product Matthew McKay, who signed with San Antonio in October. The St. Louis Battlehawks have the task of replacing spring football phenom A.J. McCarron. The XFL's passing touchdown leader went on to greener pastures with the Cincinnati Bengals, and now head coach Anthony Becht will look for his replacement, maybe with one of the 2 quarterbacks currently on his roster. Nick Tiano back with the Battlehawks. He led St. Louis to an overtime win over Las Vegas when McCarron was out with an injury. The little-used Manny Wilkins also returns for his second season with St. Louis. The rosters will take shape a little more as the players not protected or selected in last week's draft go into a pool of players for another dispersal draft January 15th, and then it's free agency on January 16th for the players who did not get selected, and it doesn't matter if they played in the XFL or the USFL or they are new to spring football. So it's all coming together here as we get ready for that March 30th kickoff. Stay right here for more news, notes, and features on John Lewis Sports.